Hey guys, Horror Man back for another review. So today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the brand new Jurassic World Legacy Collection. Now specifically today we're going to take a look at the Dr. Alan Grant figure and the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now the Legacy Collection is going to focus on different versions of the characters and dinosaurs from different Jurassic movies. So for this set, it appears to be more based off of Jurassic Park. You can see the actual T-Rex is smaller than the Fallen Kingdom version because she's a lot younger. She's about 25 years younger, so she's definitely not grown to her full potential just yet. And then Alan Grant, of course, is featured in his Jurassic Park outfit. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Dr. Alan Grant first. Okay, so just taking a look at the packaging on the Dr. Grant figure, you can see it definitely uses the same pretty much packaging we're seeing with everything. You got the T-Rex here, and then you have the Jurassic World entrance, which is pretty cool. We got the little torches on there. And then Dr. Grant's clearly displayed in this plastic blister on the front. You can see it says Dr. Alan Grant here. Bunch of ugly warnings. I don't know why they put all this on here. And then you have the little compy, which all of them appear to come with. And then he's got his little flare gun. It says 3+, which is kind of surprising. I thought this was going to be more of an adult collector series, but you know, it is what it is. And then on the back, you could see a picture of him from the movie. And then you see that he's actually getting attacked by 3 different compies, which doesn't really make any sense because he only comes with 1. Alright, and then you got the Jurassic Park, or I'm sorry, the Jurassic World Legacy Collection logo here. Colors may vary, just different read up of what's in the box and things like that. More ugly warnings, JurassicWorld.com, UPC. And the Mattel logo and Universal logo. Okay, so here he is out of the packaging. And for the most part, I think he's a fairly basic figure. He really doesn't have a lot of like paint wash effects or really anything like that. But I do see the likeness in here. It's definitely better than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, from different angles, I could definitely see that they actually got the likeness pretty good on here. I don't know if it's using like some kind of digital technology because it is a very small figure, but you could see like a little bit of like a coating is across his face, so it kind of has like a sweaty type of look to him. He's so small that it's hard to really focus on him too much, but yeah, I mean, I think you could definitely see the likeness here. Now, unfortunately, the hat is not removable, so this will not come off, which would have been nice if it did, because he doesn't really wear the hat the whole movie. Overall, see a pretty good likeness for Sam Neill here. Now, looking at the rest of the figure, again, you know, it's pretty basic, not really a lot of like paint wash effects or anything like that. Appears to be just like molded plastic. But I mean, he does have that same outfit he does basically from what you see in the early parts of the movie, you know, before he takes the tour and during the tour. I hate this like number code here. It looks pretty bad. I think they could have went different route with that. You also do have some text on the back, but I don't even know if you could see it really. But there actually is, yeah, there you go. Oh. There is a little bit of text on the back of him. Just a little hard to get that in focus. But yeah, overall, I think he looks pretty decent. You do have some articulation here. You could turn his head left and to the right. He can look down a little bit. He can look kind of just straight up. Can't really look up. A little bit of head tilt. Arms go all the way out, all the way down. You can rotate them pretty good. He does have a cut at the elbow. Nothing at the wrist, it seems, but you can turn like the elbow here. He can go real far out like a split. You can move the legs forward, backward. He's got one knee articulated here, no double joint, and the feet don't move at all. All right. So overall, I mean, decent articulation should help you with posing with a dinosaur. I do wish he could look up a little better. The actual flare gun fits in his hand pretty good, but he doesn't have a trigger finger, so that's kind of weird. And to be honest with you, I don't remember him actually holding a flare gun. I remember he had flares that he lit, which is basically how he got the T-Rex away from the kids, which the T-Rex was attacking the Jeep on the tour that they were on. But I don't remember the actual flare gun. So I know they're doing a Jeff Goldblum, Ian Malcolm figure, and he actually comes with the flare lit. So I kind of wish, you know, the Grant figure came with that as well. But, you know, this is what we get. Now you also get the Compy accessory, which is kind of neat. You can see the details are fairly decent here for something so small. See his like little mouth and eyes and everything. And it's pretty much the same on the other side. A little bit of teeth. No paint, just molded plastic again. He does have like a flexibility to him. He can't really like stand so good on his own. He kind of like looks like he's kind of like sitting on his tail. And the way this is supposed to work, it looks like he's supposed to actually like just attach to you know, Sam Neill here. So it looks like he's like attacking him or something like that, or I guess he could, you know, hump his leg or something. But it's kind of weird, but you do get a little dinosaur with it, so pretty decent. Alright, so for a quick scale comparison, here is the Dr. Grant next to figures that are kind of around the same scale. You have the Cobra Commander hooded figure from the original G.I. Joe line made by Hasbro. You have the Mattel 1989 Batman from the original movie played by Michael Keaton. And then, of course, you have the Jason Voorhees figure made by Mezco, and that's based off of Friday the 13th Part 4. So for the most part, he looks like he's best in scale with the G.I. Joe figures. And for one more scale comparison, here he is next to the Walking Dead Rick figure, and this is from the Walking Dead TV series made by McFarlane Toys. Now Rick is in a 5-inch scale, so you can see how much bigger they are. And just for some dinosaur comparisons, here is the Dr. Grant figure next to the Lost World T-Rex made by Rebel Tech, and then the Papo T-Rex. Now the Papo T-Rex is not an official Jurassic Park figure, but it is very close. So they still look pretty cool next to him, but the Papo Rex is definitely closer to in scale, but it's just a little bit small. Alright, so here is the Jurassic World Legacy Collection Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now it does say Legacy Collection, meaning it's not necessarily based off of the brand new Fallen Kingdom Jurassic World movie. With this figure, it's definitely a lot smaller than the Fallen Kingdom T-Rex, which makes sense because she is a lot younger. So just taking a quick look at the packaging here, you have the same packaging we've pretty much seen with everything Legacy. You got the big T-Rex on the front, you got the Jurassic World Legacy Collection logo with the T-Rex skeleton. It says Extreme Chompin', and then it's a bunch of different languages. Tyrannosaurus Rex. You can see the T-Rex with the big open chomping mouth. Got the T-Rex in a nice open window packaging with the doorway and the torch all lit up here. You can see the little action button symbol, kind of telling you where to hit the button on the T-Rex. Another Jurassic World Legacy Collection logo here, a little front of the T-Rex. On the back, you get a pretty cool picture of the Rex. Now, if you look at the picture on here, it definitely looks like it's a little like super sharpened and a bit on the yellow side, and that's just some kind of effect they've done. You can see Grant holding the flare, so maybe it's just kind of look to kind of have like a lighted effect around it, but that's definitely not what the T-Rex looks like. The coloring is just a little crazy, but you can see how they highlight the effect. The gigantic bite, head and neck articulation, just says T-Rex in 4 different languages. Another logo at the top here. And then it just tells you about the Jurassic World Facts app. It just says contains one dinosaur in a different language, JurassicWorld.com. And then unlike the Alan Grant figure, you actually have pictures of different figures that you can get in the line with a couple dinosaurs and a couple of human figures. And then on the back, it just kind of tells you that there is a little bit of assembly required. Some of the copyrights, Mattel, Universal, UPC code here. All right, so let's go ahead and open the T-Rex and get a closer look. Okay, so once you have the T-Rex out of the box, you don't really have to trash the box completely. It's just got a couple of these little plastic pieces that you do have to pull off. And I cut pretty much all the pieces of tape, except I didn't cut this one here, and I probably shouldn't have cut this one here. But the box doesn't get completely trashed, so that's kind of nice to know if you do want to put this back. But after you get the T-Rex out of the box, you're going to want to assemble the tail. And you can see right in the bum of the T-Rex, you can see where you put this different peg here. So I'll just go ahead and plug that in. It really doesn't take that much pressure. And then you have your T-Rex fully assembled. And it is pretty big, so pretty cool looking piece here. Alright, so just checking out the T-Rex. You can see overall they've done a pretty good job here. Now, the most of the body is constructed of a harder plastic, so it's not going to be like those softer earlier releases. And then just taking a closer look at the head sculpt here, the details are pretty good. See, they got the eyeball down pretty good here. Didn't mess up the paint or anything on that. You can see all the sculpted details going on in the face, all these little like, you know, just little bumps and such all along the head of the T-Rex. Got the little nostrils here. Got some cool little lines sculpted on the front of the mouth. Just a lot of cool details going on, just all over the place. On the lower jaw, you can see there's like a texture going along in. You got the little bumps. So yeah, pretty good job overall on that face sculpt. It looks pretty good. Now also, there is an action feature on here. There is a hidden button, which is a pretty good job of hiding that. And you just press that and the mouth will open. So it opens pretty big. Extreme chomping, so yeah, it's gonna be a big mouth. And the details in the mouth are pretty good too. You did, you know, actually paint these at least, so they're not just like plain. But yeah, you can see all the different details going on here. Got the kind of rubbery tongue. It is still plastic, but it's more pliable. And then you can kind of see the mechanics of the feature. And then even on the underside of like the roof of the mouth, you can see the details in there. So pretty good details in that head sculpt. And the details continue pretty good all throughout the body. You can see all the different wrinkles and all the different sculpting going on here. Just so much details going on, it's hard to even capture everything. You can see the underbelly is a lighter color. And then with the hands, the one thing they didn't get with the hands, I wish they would have painted the nails. So that's kind of plain looking. So yeah, that's kind of like a flub. And just looking at the tail, you do see all the different lines and texture going on here. And again, it is a harder plastic tail. At the end, just the very end, it does have a more pliable material, but it can't keep any kind of pose. You can only, if you move it, it just kind of goes back to what it was. And then you can see there's a little bit more detail in the back, a little like veins or musculature. And then down to the feet, they actually did paint the nails, thankfully. They're pretty big feet, so it'd be hard to get away with not painting those, and those look pretty good. And then onto the bottom, you get this little like DNA code or something like that. And you see the little like peg holes in the feet. That actually is what locked it into the cardboard box. So I'm not sure if that's going to help you as far as standing it on a peg stand, but that's really just, like I said, just for holding it in that cardboard packaging that it came in. So overall, pretty good details in the T-Rex. Now, one of my favorite things about this dinosaur is the articulation. I think they've done a really good job here, and it's definitely a step above what we've seen with the Hasbro series, pretty much any of the Hasbro dinosaurs. I think this T-Rex definitely has the best articulation. So just starting with the head sculpt, of course you do get the, the action feature. The head can rotate really high. Move this up. So yeah, the head can rotate really high because it has these two different joints. You can look down decently far, and you can curve really far here. So really nice range of motion here. So you can get a nice big roar with the head all the way up. And then the actual hands can move out a little bit. They can move up, down, and kind of move out a little bit. It's a decent range there. This thing is so big. Let me see here. You can see how far the T-Rex can look up if you swivel that lower part of the body, and then it can look down very far as well. So you really do have a lot of motion there. And then of course the legs themselves can move, swivel. And then the tail has a decent amount of articulation. You know, kind of spin it. You can move it up and down, side to side. A little squeaky. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's got really good articulation. All right, so for the first comparison, here she is next to the Dr. Alan Grant figure. And I think this actually looks really good, especially scaled to the size she was in Jurassic Park. And just coming in a little closer on that scale comparison, you can see how much bigger her head is to his head. And I know there's a scene from the movie where she actually blows his hat off because she was so close to him. So you can see that it actually matches up pretty good in comparison to the movie. And for the next comparison, here she is next to the Lost World figure made by Rebel Tech. And you can see that she's a lot bigger than the Rebel Tech figure. The Rebel Tech figure is more in like, the scale would almost be like in scale with like a micro machine. I mean, it's really small, but it is a really cool figure. And here she is next to the Lego T-Rex, and the size is still a good bit different, but definitely much closer. And here she is next to the Papo Jurassic Park style T-Rex. It's not an official Jurassic Park T-Rex, but I still think it's one of the best T-Rex figures out there. But you can see the Papo version is also smaller. Alright, and for my NECA Toys fans out there, here she is next to the 1954 Godzilla and the Planet of the Apes Luca, aka King Kong. And you can see that she's definitely too big to scale with these figures. Okay, so that's my review of the Jurassic World Legacy Collection T-Rex and Sam Neill Dr. Alan Grant figure. Overall, I'm really impressed by both figures, especially for the price point. $19.99 for this T-Rex is almost a steal, and Sam Neill at $7.99 is a pretty good price for him. I will say that the one thing that I think they really could have done better, specifically with the T-Rex, or at least more with the T-Rex, is the paint. The paint definitely lacks. So, I mean, it is a $19.99 priced figure, so you're not going to get the paint like you got on the Rebel Tech or even the Papo version of the T-Rex. So that is the one complaint I have about it. Specifically with things like the back, definitely wish the striping was a little bit more noticeable on here. And maybe like a black wash effect around the mouth, or, you know, any kind of like things just to bring out some of like the cuts and things like that in the mouth, or just the overall, you know, different like wrinkles in the skin and things like that. Paintwork really could have went a long way with that. And also the jaw doesn't really stay open. I had to put something inside of the mouth to kind of keep the mouth actually open. But yeah, that could have been fixed as well. But overall, it's a really cool figure. I mean, it poses really good. It stands good. You can see you can get it in a running pose or the upright pose. I love the articulation on the figure. So overall, pretty cool figures. If you're a fan of Jurassic Park, I would definitely recommend these because we haven't really seen figures like this in a long, long time. So thanks for watching my review. Please leave a comment or question if you have one. Like the video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, see ya.